Welcome back to Pack Mentality. I'm Matt Banwart. My wife Caitlin and I own Red Wolf CrossFit in Huntington Beach, California. And we started this podcast with one goal in mind, and that was to make fitness education accessible, engaging, and effective for everyone. Today, I have Rudy Mayorga on the podcast today. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
So good to have you. So Rudy is an 11-year veteran member of Red Wolf CrossFit, and he recently retired from Santa Ana Police Department, and now he currently works for the sheriff as well.
Orange
County Sheriff's Department. And he has a great fitness journey. He's almost died multiple times. And I remember when it happened. And he's going to tell us today about, how fitness saved his life in general and how it keeps him going and the main reasons why he keeps working out. So great to have you.
Great to be here.
All right, Rudy, you ready, buddy?
Sure, let's go. Fire away.
Let's dive right in, my man. So over the last 11 years of being with Red Wolf, what has been the most standout, transformative aspect of your fitness journey over the last 11 years with us?
What stands out most? Let's see. Number one, getting there. It's always a fun time to get there. So getting there and starting to work out, I've always worked out my whole life. So this is kind of a different avenue of working out. So it's, it's not the three sets at 10 reps of bench press and then sit around, look at my iPhone for 20 minutes and do another set and then go to curls and go jacuzzi, go home.
Yeah. So it's definitely gotten you kind of out of that old kind of traditional training.
Yeah, it's a better regime.
Okay, awesome. And how has that helped you?
It's helped my fitness level because I've lost body fat. This is totally a different type of working out. I used to just go into the gym and, 3 sets of 10 bench press, then go over to the military, go talk to about 20 friends, waste an hour, come home. My wife would say, "Hey, how was your workout?" I go, "Well, it was okay." She goes, "You were gone for 2.5 hours." I was like, "Well, I didn't even sweat." So this new way of working out, I guess I call it CrossFit. It's just 1 hour, get in, get out. Results are there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that's one of the main reasons why I got into it in the first place as well, was because I just got bored of that same old routine and I wanted to do something different. And I was wasting time as well. It was like, it took so long just to get a 50% decent workout.
Yeah, that was the issue.
And before we kind of get more into like the more reasons why you continue doing CrossFit and why you got into the first place, let's chat about how CrossFit saved your life specifically, because you were in a really bad accident. Let's talk about that.
Okay, yeah, and August 13th, 2013. It was 11 years. The other day, I remember telling you, I was working for the Santa Ana Police Department. We went through an intersection, Fairview and Edinger, and I was going through the intersection. I got hit by a secondary car there, hit my rear quarter panel at 57 miles per hour. I spun around, hit a pole, kind of got dazed. I think I was knocked out. I don't remember. I remember getting out of the car, putting the radio traffic out and checking on the other people and thinking, man, I'm not good here. I'm not good. All my partners showed up and they kept telling me, "Hey, sit down. And I'm like, I'm not sitting down. If I sit down, I'm going lights out. So they want to take my belt off. I said, no, let's keep everything on me and we'll kind of just wait for this supervisor or paramedic to see what happens. But ended up happening is I fought him all the way to the gurney. Apparently everybody said, "Hey, you don't want to go to the hospital," because I had a river trip planned the next day. So I wanted to take my family to the river. But I did. I went to the hospital, and there I was met by a couple surgeons, and they're like, "You got to stop moving. There's something wrong with your neck." Mm-hmm. So I was starting to get this bad headache, and then my fingers started going numb. I'm like, "Oh, this is no good." A couple hours later, called my wife. I said, "Hey, everything's good. I'm going to be late. Why? What's going on?" "I was in a car accident." "Well, what happened?" I said, "Well, I think they're telling me I broke my neck. I'm not sure." So they did a bunch of tests into this CT scan, all kinds of big machinery. And I broke C6 and C7 of my neck.
Wow.
And that they were blown away. So the surgeon's like, "We don't know how you're alive. It's just kind of weird. But you're a big guy, you look strong, and I think because you have a strong core, that saved your life, because most people, it snaps their neck."
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of an awakening.
That is cool. That I remember hearing about it and seeing the pictures of you in the hospital with the kids and everything. I mean, your anniversary of that happened recently, like what, maybe a few weeks ago?
Yes, about 2 weeks ago, it happened at 1:43 in the morning. I'll never forget that day. And, you know, it kind of brings you full circle, like, wow, it's I can't believe I'm still here. But that's why I keep working out, because it literally saved my life. I think I walked in and told you,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I had a big neck brace halo thing going on, and I said, man, this place saved my life.
Dang. Well, what specifically do you think that, I mean, because you weren't even doing CrossFit for that long before it happened. So, I mean, what are some of the things that we were doing at the gym at the time that you thought helped prevent that from happening in the first place?
I think CrossFit does a lot of core strength, you know, dead bug, stuff like that, just holding your neck up, holding your back up. It works your core. I never did stuff like that. Maybe, you know, you got in trouble in football or something, you sit in a corner and do a dead bug hold or something.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, bear crawls, we used to do a lot of bear crawls here. Not that I want to do them again. Don't get in that. Just a lot of core strength.
Right.
That you would never do. I mean, core strength at, you know, name your fit, LA Fitness, Holiday, whichever. Doing curls is just not going to help your core.
Yeah. Yeah.
So any of those basic exercises don't do it for you, tricep pull downs or whatever. It's just not core strength.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. No, I agree. It's like when you do functional training, you actually have to brace your body under much heavier loads than when you're doing isometric exercises or traditional bodybuilding, especially if you do machines that requires almost no bracing of the midline whatsoever. So that's amazing. Can you go into a little more detail about, like, so you mentioned like the doctors were like, man, if you weren't like this fit and you should be dead. Can you kind of tell us a little more about that and what the doctor said?
Well, after the accident happened, I probably should have been moving around. I probably should have been standing still or not moving, but I was going on pure adrenaline. So I was still moving around. I remember moving my neck, thinking, "Oh man, maybe I shouldn't be doing this."
Yeah.
Everybody's telling me to sit down. I'm like, I'm not. I'm gonna lights out. I was afraid if I passed out, I wouldn't wake up.
Yeah.
So I kept moving around, and then they put me on the gurney. Later on, I remember being in the hospital. Dr. Tabrisi, his name was. He came in. He just couldn't believe I was alive. He's like, "Sir, I just cannot believe you're here talking to us."
Wow.
I'm like, "Sir, I'm pretty strong, and I think I'm going to be okay." He's like, "Okay, well, just don't move." And he kept. I mean, they had my neck taped. They had me in this brace, and I kept thinking, "Man, how am I going to go to the river in the morning?" This kind of. But then they had a neurosurgeon, and they're telling me my brain's bleeding, and all these things they're telling me. I'm like, I can't believe this. I'm like, maybe I should wake up here. What's going on? I did. I had to see this other doctor, and they told me I had a brain bleed. They're going to do surgery because there was a pocket of blood in my head, and it wouldn't stop bleeding. They said it was at 5 millimeters, and it was getting bigger. And I was like, well, where are you going to put that scar or this incision? Oh, on your hairline. And I'm thinking, what hairline? What are we talking about? So I'm going to have this Frankenstein scar, and I was pretty scared of that. And somehow, I don't know I got out of the house after 2 days, walked out, family and friends, and got a police escort home. And then kept going to these doctor's appointments, and this guy said somehow my brain bleed stopped. Miraculous. Wow. I don't know why or how. But they said, if this thing don't stop within the next day or two, we're going to do surgery. Mm-hmm. So they gave me these meds, and I don't know what they were doing besides having me see Mayan Indians, because they were some heavy stuff. There was some weird stuff. I actually stopped taking them. It was too heavy.
It was just too much.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it was a scary time.
Wow. I had no idea that you had a brain bleed on top of that as well.
Yeah, I had a brain bleed, and then they were worried about, I had this pain in the back of my right arm. It was from the gun rack. When I got hit, I broke the gun rack behind me, and my shotgun and my AR-15 went flying inside the car.
Wow.
And, I probably have some type of permanent injury, but I'm okay.
Yeah, at least you're not still alive. Yeah, you're not dead. Tell us a bit about the recovery. So how long so you went home after only 2 days, which is amazing.
I went home, and the guys from work got me a easy chair, or one of those lazy boy things.
Yeah.
And that's all I did. I just sat in that lazy boy for a long time, hours on end, because I couldn't move around. Friends would come over. They had a meal train going. Everybody was calling, helping me out. And so I just basically was waiting on this bone to heal. They can't put a cast on it. They can't do anything for me. So like, well, we're just going to wait for it to heal.
Yeah.
So I waited 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and I'm like, this thing is not healing. I'd go to appointments, and I'd see my neck was getting smaller, and my body was getting smaller because I wasn't working out. They wouldn't let me do anything. They're like, well, you can't even walk much because if you fall, you're going to screw yourself up and paralyze yourself. So I was kind of a bitter guy. I was in the house all the time for, 4 or 5 months. And then my wife started taking me out places. Yvette was taking me different places, do things, run errands with her, and I just sit in the car. But it got me out. And then after 1 year, if you don't go back to work, they retire you medically.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, man, I'm not going to make this cutoff. So I kept going to the doctors, and they kept saying, no, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. We're just waiting for it to heal. I'm like, well, how long does a bone take? It didn't take that long. 11 months, 1 week it took.
Wow.
And not until I finally went to, I had this surgeon and this doctor in, he was in Santa Ana. I said, I need to go see somebody else. I got to go back to work. And they sent me to Irvine, UC Irvine. And this guy said, you know what? You've been begging to go work out. Go to the gym. Just don't do anything strenuous. You can do, bench press or curls or whatever. Just don't do any hanging upside down. Don't do any, anything crazy. And I started working out miraculously. I don't know, it kickstarted my body somehow. Wow. And it healed. And like I said, 11 months, 1 week, they took an x-ray. They said, you're healed. You're going back to work.
Wow.
Probably one of the top 5 happiest times of my life.
That is amazing. Yeah. And you made the cutoff, so you weren't medically retired.
Not medically. I wasn't 50 yet.
Okay.
That's the magic number.
Yeah, that's the magic number. Okay, interesting. And yeah, that's insane that I never was aware of that they medically retire you after 12 months.
Yeah, after a year, if you don't come back to work, they can medically retire you, which you'll get half your salary.
Okay.
Which is probably not enough for my family with kids in college or that time kids in school.
Yeah.
All kinds of other things going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's an incredible story. And then so you got back in the gym about 11 months after that, and then you went back to work. So what was that transition like, getting back into the gym and also getting back to work at the same time?
That was a rough transition because, you lose all your cardio. So once you lose your cardio, I like to work out. I was always a graveyard guy, so I would work 6 at night till 6:30 in the morning. Okay. And I'm sure you remember me coming in. I get off work at 6:30, come home, go straight to CrossFit. You guys had a 7 o'clock class. Go from 7 to 8 o'clock, go home, pick up my kids, take them to school, go to sleep for about 2-3 hours. They'd have an award ceremony. Then I'd go back to see them, and then I'd go back to sleep for 2-3 more hours, then pick them up from school. So it was kind of tough, but just getting regular and getting back to the gym was the best part of that recovery. Once I had a schedule, could work out 3, 4, 5 days a week. It was set, so I was good.
That's awesome. Tell us a bit about how that changed your perception on fitness and life in general after the accident.
And well, when you get an accident like that, or you get hurt on the job, or anything traumatic, you just think about, well, I need to have better fitness. You watch police videos or anything. If you get hurt, you're thinking, man, I could have done better. How could I have done better? Well, you need more strength. You need more core strength. And when I got hurt, I didn't think I'd ever break my neck. Nobody thinks, I tell people, hey, I broke my neck. And they're like, they look at you weird, like, how are you here? And it got to be so bad that, I'd walk around with this neck brace, and they look at me like, what happened? And yeah, I would tell the funniest stories. I was jumping out of a plane, and I get the tail fin, and parachuting, or I would say the funniest stories, and they would believe it, so it was pretty funny. But when you get hurt like that, you just think, man, this is never going to happen again. I'm just going to continue working out. I got to get better. I got to get stronger. So maybe next time it don't happen.
Yeah, it's crazy how that mattered so much for your mental health. And do you want to kind of speak on that, how much that helped you?
Well, on your mental health, that's the biggest part of it. If you, like me getting hurt, and if I just sat on the curb, I felt like I would be giving in. Like, I'm not going to let this little car crash, define me. So once I said, hey, I'm not sitting down. Hey, you lay on the gurney. I'm not laying on the gurney. This is not going to beat me. This injury is not going to beat me. But after 11 months, I started to think, well, after about 7, 8, 9 months, you start thinking, hey, this thing's going to beat me. That's why I begged to go back to the gym. Hey, I got to get back to the gym. I got to get my mentality back. Yeah. Start working out. This is not going to beat me. And finally, like I said, 11 months, 1 week later, I was in the back to work. So I ended up winning.
Yeah.
But it was a tough battle, I guess.
They were absolutely, and that not only was it a tough battle, I mean, it's crazy to think that you were released from the hospital after 2 days, but then the recovery took 11 months.
11 months.
Which is, I mean, that's a long time to be waiting, and I can see why you wanted to get in the gym so badly. Tell us a little bit about the main reason why, I mean, other than, I mean, obviously the accident keeps you motivated to keep training and keep working out and keep coming to the gym as frequently as you can, but are there any other reasons that keep you going?
As funny as it sounds, social media. I'm 58, going to be 59 years old here in a couple months. And I see some of my classmates from high school, college, and there's some sick people out there.
Yeah.
With overweight, diabetes. Some people are getting cancer, and I see these classmates of mine, and it blows me away that these guys, are in these positions, and it's not their fault. But you see some like, oh well, he's a little overweight. Well, gosh, I think he could have lived a couple more years. And I'm thinking, man, I'm only 58. So that's I look at my peers, and then when my partners at work, they start to retire, and after about 2-3 years, they punch out in life. And wow, how does that happen?
That soon?
Yeah, you work 30 years for your retirement, and then 3 years later, you're punched out. So that keeps me motivated to keep working out, keep doing cardio. I've got kind of a weird schedule at work. Like for me, I work out in the morning. I'll come at 5 in the morning before work, and then my lunch is from 12 to 1:30 on the county side. So we have an hour and a half, and it blows me away that people don't work out during that hour and a half.
Yeah, they have that. So off.
Yeah,
wow.
Nice. So you might as well go walk the stairs, work out with weights, or ride the elliptical, anything. But just keep moving, because unfortunately, Father Time is undefeated, especially in the second half. So if you're over 50, you got to keep moving,
man.
So it's kind of funny to say that, but it's true.
Yeah, no, and I really appreciate you bringing that up, because that's a huge motivator for me, because I've been in a position too where my health was at an all-time low, and I remember thinking, laying in the hospital bed feeling completely helpless, and I can't imagine what you went through 11 months of that, and then I'm only in there for a week, and I'm like, I have to get out of here. I have to get back to the gym. And then the big thing for me is I also don't want to be a liability for my family. I don't want anyone to have to take care of me. I want to be the one to make sure that I can take care of anyone in any situation if I have to.
And like you said, you're laying there thinking, man, if I could just get to the gym, I'll be better.
Yeah.
And just mentally, you're better. It's not you're going to get magically better. Just your mental state. Okay, I'm at the gym. At least I'm here.
Yeah.
So you've already jumped one hurdle. So there's many hurdles to go, but just getting to the gym was perfect. Yeah, that already helped.
No, 100%. And if you could just speak to someone directly, and let's say they are, kind of struggling with getting to the gym, or they're making excuses not to get in the gym, and they're kind of hitting that age of where, if they don't do something soon, that it's going to be too late. What would you tell them?
Well, just walking or biking or anything is healthy, but this gym, particularly ours, but other gyms, you go in LA Fitness. I always go to that. I'm still a member of LA Fitness, by the way. It's $100 a year. I've been a member for 30 years. You go there and you kind of stand around and you wait for the weights to open up, and it's just so slow paced. I don't know what I'm doing in there. I've been working out my whole life, but back and by, chest and try, and leg day and shoulders. That's all I knew. If you can get to a program like a structured program, like a CrossFit, they have the programming for you. So you just come in and do your work, and you can't be afraid of it. I was never afraid to work out. The one thing that blows a lot of people away, I don't think a lot of people have ever hit that point where I can't run another step. I can't lift another weight. I pushed myself to the limit. Sometimes you get pushed to the limit here, and the only thing that pushes you over the edge is your buddies or the people working out with you. Mm-hmm. I mean, I may not be the fastest one here. I'm not the strongest, but I'll finish the workout. And even if it takes me over the time, I'm that guy that's sitting in the corner. I'm still doing 15 more. Yeah. Because I got to finish. That's just my mentality. Yeah. So all you got to do is, push people to come in. You got to come in. You just got to let it's a process. You got to let it play out. Yeah. If you don't let it play out, you'll never finish the race. Yeah. I love that. I love that mentality of how, you have to finish things. I love the mentality of,
of what you said of, it's really hard to push yourself to the end of like, I can't do this.
No.
And then, like, I mean, when you do get there, it's usually with a group or something on something structured. So
it's a lot of people, even, studying or whatever it is, have you ever studied for 7 hours straight and just, I can't do anymore? Yeah, you can.
Mm-hmm.
And you twist it, you motivate yourself another way. Working out's the same thing. I cannot believe some of the things I've done physically. Little thing. I ran 2 marathons.
Mm-hmm.
What's a 230-pound guy doing running 2 marathons?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, and then my wife saw me run one. She goes, I want to run one with you. Okay. And there we go again. I mean, hitting that limit it's a crazy feeling, but there's nothing better.
Yeah.
Nothing better than finishing or getting your fitness goal or hitting that max that you thought you would never hit.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. No, I love that. And you kind of mentioned earlier about, the importance of being on something structured. How has being on something structured benefited you in the long run over these last 11 years?
I tell you what, just having the structure of working out. I'm kind of a different guy. I don't look at the workouts prior to coming in. I come in, I'm the first guy looking at the board. Okay, what's the workout today? Because if I looked at it, I'd probably, if there's overhead squats, I don't want to come in, but I'm better at them because I come in.
Yeah.
And I've gotten stronger. For me, this is the best way to work out. Structured workout. You come in, you warm up, you work out, you cool down, and you're out of here. I mean, that's 1 hour's work. I've done workouts for 3 hours and not gotten the same results.
Yeah.
So, when I'm on, I probably work out four times a week at least here.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, here at my other gym at work. And it's paid off. Paid off a lot. I mean, I'm 225, 230 pounds. I don't know how big I'd be if I didn't work out.
Yeah, so absolutely.
It's great.
And tell us go into a little more detail for us on how it's paid off over all these years. I mean, because you did lose a significant amount of weight. Can you tell us about that?
Well, yeah, that was motivated over, yes, my health. But there was some people that I worked with that didn't think I'd be able to lose weight. And I said, well, I'm going to let you guys go ahead and do this contest. And about 30 days out, I'm going to start.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were at it for 2 months. And they I'd see them eat yogurt and they, walk or do this. So I said, you know what, I've got this different mentality. I can go beast mode. And I told the wife, hey, no alcohol, no sugar, and no carbs, 30 days. We'll see what happens. I did 30 days. I lost 35 pounds.
Wow.
And it just fell off. I couldn't believe it. I would wake up in the morning. I'd do the elliptical for an hour, sit in the sauna, just kind of, sweat a little bit off, shower, go to work, and then I'd come do CrossFit at night. So for 30 days, I mean, you could do anything you want. It's the potential is there. You just have to put your mind to it.
Wow, man, 35 pounds in 30 days.
35 pounds and I marked it off every single day. I had 35 days written on my calendar, and every day I'd check that off, and I'd minus 4 pounds, minus 6 pounds. And for a while there, I was stuck at like minus 12. And then next thing you know, you're at minus 16 going, whoa, something's coming off.
Wow.
So it was a good time. It was fun.
Wow, that is fantastic. Well, I didn't know you lost it that fast, but that's I don't remember that at all. But that's fantastic.
That was 2 years ago.
Okay. Oh, that was only 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I didn't tell you about it.
I may get back to that again. I don't know. It's always around the Super Bowl though, so that's kind of that's kind of a bad thing. They do those contests between the Super Bowls. So
I got it. I hear you. Okay, interesting. Okay. So, looking back, is there a particular moment at our gym in specifically that stands out as a defining milestone for you?
Well, the big thing here at this gym, what my big milestone now, or my marker, I guess, is having my wife and kids work out with me.
Yeah.
They used to come to this gym and they like most kids, they just hang around the pull-up bars or the rings and they'd swing. Well, now they're working out, and
Mm-hmm.
there's days when that competitive side comes out of me where I'm like, I'm working out with my son Dylan or David, and I'm like, oh, it's power cleans. Now I got to man up here because he's going to beat me. And then I keep thinking, not today. Today's not the day. Today's not the day. But it happened about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. He power clean more than me, and instead of me being like, oh, I got to get stronger, I was pretty happy for him. I couldn't believe he was stronger than me now. Took him, 19 years. But, David's the same way with doing deadlifts. When we do deadlifts, he does more than me. And I love that. So I love coming to the gym and working out, especially with my kids. And now they're 18, 19, or 19 and 22. And when they're stronger than you, that's a proud moment.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about, being a divine moment to them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, blows me away that they're getting stronger and stronger. And I'm right there with them too. I'm not no slouch. I'm not going to let them just, push me over. They've got to knock me down.
Yeah.
And they are, believe me.
That is a fantastic milestone. And that's such a great definition of success. And I think so much of that had to do with just the fact that you would bring him to the gym. I remember when they were young and you would bring him to the gym, they would hang out, they would watch you guys work out. And then they would encourage, I remember an old picture of you guys, of the entire family, of Yvette, Emily, David, and Dylan all cheering you on, doing push-ups.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that picture?
Yeah, I remember
that picture.
I think it was during the CrossFit Games, and then they all went earlier.
Yeah.
And then I came after work, and then, I don't know, we were at the old gym, of course, and I think there were box jumps.
Mm-hmm.
You had to do over burpee box jumps, and I was having to push myself up, and they were all cheering me. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know where that picture is. I'd like to see that again.
Yeah, I have it saved somewhere.
Yeah.
We still have
that was a great picture.
Yeah, that's such a great picture, and I remember that moment specifically. And I was the one who took the picture, and I think it's really cool because you can totally see the evolution of them, and I got a chance to see the evolution of them as well, of them coming to the gym all the time, participating in everything, and then now they're in the gym. And you don't even have to it's not even a chore to them. And at that age, when I was that age, I didn't really want to go to the gym, let alone go to the gym with my family. And so it's really cool to see the entire family coming to the gym and doing something together collectively that you guys all share.
That's and it's not only fun, but it's healthy. And then, I'm always the guy asking, hey, how much did you bench press today? How much did you deadlift? And I'm blown away by some of those numbers.
Yeah.
Lately with my daughter Emily, she's been, through softball, but at that time, and she was coming in with us as well.
Yeah.
So, and they work out hard at their softball workout.
Oh, yeah.
And then when she's on her downtime, she comes in and works out. That blows me away.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Yeah, that is fantastic. That's like I said, such a great story of success is when your kids are now outlifting you, and then that's something that they can have some bragging rights on.
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. And that's something now that they'll stick with for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and then they'll teach it to their kids.
Yeah.
And that's how we keep going.
Yeah, and that just goes to show that, our kids are watching us. So if you're listening to this, you have kids, your kids are watching you. They monkey see, monkey do.
They're big sponges.
Yeah.
Soak everything up.
Yeah, it's not what you tell them, it's what you show them. And yeah, that's why I try and bring my kids to the gym as often as possible and let them watch me work out, and I work out with them. And it's really cool now that my kids are super young still, but they're showing a lot of interest in working out.
Yeah.
And so now it just becomes like a normal thing to them. It's just completely it's just part of the lifestyle now, just like anything else. Yeah.
You don't have to teach it, you show it.
Yeah, 100%. So kind of switching gears here and moving into kind of the community aspect of fitness, because you mentioned that earlier too, along with being on something structured. How has being a part of the community shaped your life outside the gym?
Well, this whole community, Red Wolf community, or the CrossFit community, there are certain things that you guys do, or most gyms do. You have the, 4th of July workout, you do the Murph. I mean, that brings a lot of pride. I don't have to instill it on my kids, because they see me. I come out here and I think you've taken pictures of me. I always run with the American flag,
mm-hmm.
or I'll run with the thin blue line flag, and I'll run my mile, and then I'll do my, my push-ups, my sit-ups, my pull-ups with that flag standing by, Unfortunately, I wasn't in the military, but, I support those guys. And this community, it pushes you to do some cool things. And so with the Murph and all these hero workouts, I love doing those. And, this community supports everybody. I like when we have, you guys have certain events here. I think you had one yesterday, but I wasn't able to come. But it brings everybody together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty fun to support everybody, especially if we have some competitors. I've gone to a couple gyms and seen some of our strong people go and compete. So that's pretty cool. And it's a sense of pride to wear your Red Wolf stuff, because people look and go, oh, Red Wolf, yeah. And on a side note, I don't know why, but they always tell me, oh, that's a heavy gym. It's a heavy gym. I didn't know what that meant for a long time.
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
So I would show my workouts to the guys at work because they go to other CrossFit gyms, and they're like, oh yeah, you guys, your numbers are heavy. Like, the RX weight we push is way more than everybody else I get. It blows them away.
Wow.
So that's pretty happy about that. So we're known as a heavy gym.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it. I'll take it. Well, I mean, we do get people stronger. I mean, and you know this, Rudy, but stronger people are a lot harder to kill.
Yeah. So that's firsthand. You got to keep working out. You got to stay strong.
Yeah.
And everything. Just mentally, not only just, in police work or anything, but even in school or sports. You played college sports. It's a grind.
Yeah.
It's a grind. And if you're strong, well, you have a little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
It's what try and teach our kids as well. You got to grind. And if you're working out, you're working hard. You don't come in here and just, get through the workout. You try and excel in that workout and try and do the best you can.
Right.
So then it helps you in all ways of life.
Do it 100%. And kind of with that, people face a lot of obstacles or they make a lot of excuses into coming into the gym. I mean, you have a busy schedule. I mean, even today, even though you are retired from Santa Ana, so what challenges have you faced recently? I mean, we already went over like your big one that happened 11 years ago, but what are some of your current challenges that you face on a daily basis that kind of impede you from getting to the gym? And what advice would you give people who are also facing the same challenges?
Well, you don't think there's enough hours in the day, but there are. I mean, believe me, I don't want to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, come work out, but it works for my schedule. My wife works out at that time, so I'm like, well, I might as well get it done, get it out of the way. But once you're done, you come in kind of a long face, but once you're done, you're so happy it's over. You're like, okay, now I can start my day. I go to work and do my thing, but with my family and my kids, they're 16. 19 and 22. And just today, my daughter said, hey, after you do this podcast, you want to play catch? Yeah, I'm going to play catch, of course. There's some days, believe me, I come home from work, I just want to sit down and turn the TV on and not be bothered by anybody.
Yeah.
But when somebody asks you, hey, you want to play catch? Hey, can you help me with this? Sure, I can. You always have time. You may not think there's enough time, but if you schedule yourself right, you have time. You can go at lunch. If you're working in an office, there's no reason to take the elevator. Take the stairs. I take the stairs all day long.
Yeah.
Up and down those damn stairs. It's just, I might as well get some fitness out of it.
Yeah.
It sounds corny, but I'm going to go to the first to the seventh floor. I might as well take the stairs.
Yeah.
I'm that guy sweating at work, but it's you just get it done. So there's always time to get your workouts in. And like you said, there's maybe not enough time. You don't think so, but there is.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love how you are talking about specifically those small little things that you can do that will compound over time. And I think a lot of times people get into this mentality where it's like an all or nothing mentality, where it's like, well, if I'm not in the gym for 2 to 3 hours doing a super hard structured program and then writing down all my numbers, that it's not a good workout. When that's not necessarily the case, because you mentioned just taking the stairs from floor 1 to floor 7 can yield fitness. And that is, that's 10 times better than doing nothing or taking the elevator.
Not doing it, or even modifying it. If you have to modify it, it's not a big deal. I mean, I'm not the best runner in the world, but I try to run.
Yeah.
The assault bike, a lot of people don't want to do it. They want to do the bike or whatever. No, it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
So you get it done.
And what would you say is your biggest obstacle currently that impedes you from getting into the gym that you have to overcome?
For me, probably my schedule with my hours. I mean, I start at 8 in the morning. I'm out at 5 at night.
Mm-hmm.
So you only have one class after that. You come to 5:30, you don't come at all.
Yeah.
And there's classes throughout the day. But if you're going to be late, you might as well come early. So I can come at 5 in the morning.
Yep.
So it's there's times to do everything. And even if, God forbid, I couldn't make the early schedule and I had an appointment at night, a dental appointment or something, I can always go to LA Fitness.
Yeah.
But mentally, sometimes we make excuses like, oh, today's a rest day.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you have 3 rest days in a row making excuses. So you just got to set time out for yourself to do these things. If not for you, do it for your family, because I'm telling you, like I said, I'm 58 and I see people my age that are sick, having heart attacks, strokes, and I'm like, wow, that's not going to be me.
Yeah.
And if it is, I'm going down fighting.
Yeah.
You got to work out and you got to push yourself.
Yeah. No, 100%. And do you see a direct correlation between some of your friends or colleagues that are they sedentary?
You know, a lot of people that, well, yeah, I'm just going to talk for my experience in police work. We don't have the best diets. Never do we have the best diets, and we don't set time. You just can't take lunch at 2 p.m. every day or 12:30. You eat when you can. You're tired most of the time, so they used to make fun of cops because we'd be at donut stores. Well, yeah, they're open.
Yeah,
they're open 24 hours a day, and you need coffee. I come from the days of what is it with these energy drinks, Ennies they call them. We didn't have Red Wolf or what do they call those, Monsters and Red Wolf,
yeah,
and all that stuff. Maybe if you were hurting, you'd get a Jolt. So whatever,
yeah.
Mountain Dew. You drink about 10 of those. But you just got to do what's best for you, and work out when you can, get as much energy as you can, because you never know with you working out and not working out, you're going to get tired. You get tired a lot.
Yeah,
especially in police work. And if you don't eat, you get tired.
Yeah,
I noticed that. So if you just don't balance your diet and don't balance your exercise, you're going to be in a bad spot.
Yeah. So nutrition was a huge problem.
Huge deal.
For a lot of people. I think that, a lot of people struggle with that too, but it makes sense specifically with police work, like with you, especially when you have, if you're working graveyards and everything, because then your metabolism is kind of all over the place, and there's cortisol.
There's no good place to eat, but you see it at all these fast food restaurants. You can get a greasy burger for 99 cents, or maybe not so much anymore, but maybe $1.99.
Yeah.
But you get a salad that's about $10.
Yeah.
So it's expensive to eat healthy. Lucky for me, my wife makes lunch every day, so she has this little system where she does her meal plan, and we get our meals every day. She packages them up for me. I know what I'm having Monday through Friday.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I have my food, and if I don't eat, that's my fault.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. And that's fantastic that you take the time to plan ahead with your workouts. You don't make excuses. You work out 5 a.m. if you have to, because work doesn't start till 8. And then you take the stairs. You have all these meals planned out for you. So it's great that you actually take action into prioritizing your health and prioritizing your workouts. And, what advice would you give someone who's starting out today, who's starting at absolutely nothing, and, knowing what you've learned over the last, 11 years with us, what would you tell them?
Well, number one, you can't walk in and get intimidated. I remember the first time I walked into Red Wolf, they're off of Gothard and Talbot. I walked in and I was blown away and I had known about CrossFit, but I'd never seen so many people working out with no shirts. And they were studs. They were studs. You being one of them. it was just incredible. I'm like, man, there's some good bodies in here, both male and female. It blew me away. I'm like, dude, I'm never taking off my shirt. That's what I thought. I was intimidated at first, but I worked through it. We became members, and slowly but surely. So I didn't get intimidated right off the get-go. And then you got to stick with it, because those first couple workouts, I remember the first time I did burpees, besides playing high school football, doing burpees at the gym. I was like, this is never going to end. You start with one, and then you do. I can't remember how the workout went, but you went 1 to like 30, and by 22, you're done.
Yeah.
Done. I didn't think I'd get to 23, but somehow you grind it, you get to 23, and you're like, okay, I can make 24, I guess.
Yeah.
So as far as new people, you can't get intimidated, and you got to see you got to let it play out. So you got long term. You come in, don't get intimidated. You work out, you modify it if you have to, and you stick to it, because it's so easy. It's so easy to quit. It's easy to quit any job. If you don't like your job, you quit. I'll go find another one. It's easy to be a quitter. It's harder to stick to it. And if you stick to it, the results, they pay off crazy here. The results I've had here, besides any other gym, are just amazing.
Awesome. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about some of the details of those results.
I've always been, a weightlifter per se, just doing football, weightlifting, or baseball, or whatever sport I'm playing. But here, I've never, really had to do, besides CrossFit, power cleans, deadlifts, squats. You don't do those at the gym, really. Besides they look at you funny if you go to those gyms.
Yeah.
here, like I was saying, the core strength that we get, you get all around fitness. No one in their right mind would ever do lunges. Believe me, you would never do lunges outside of this gym, or a functional fitness or CrossFit gym. And there's these times when we do these lunges or even overhead squats. You're like, man, that next day I can't even move.
Yeah.
But 3 days after you can, you're like, man, I feel pretty good. And you see your body changes, for the better. You lose some weight. You're getting stronger. You're more symmetrical. I mean, that's what I like.
Yeah,
that's impressive. And I see the results of my family and my wife. I see it in my kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's helping one of my sons with college baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's fascinating to see them work out, and their legs are getting bigger, their arms are getting bigger. And we don't come in and do curls all the time.
Yeah,
hardly ever do we do curls. Actually, when we do, I get excited. Yeah, but we never do straight curls or straight tricep workouts. It's all in there.
Yeah,
you do a push press, that's a tricep. You do a strict press, it's a tricep. You do a power clean, that's a tricep.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know we're doing it, but you guys do.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I love how you brought up how the kids are getting so much stronger and better, because I see the same thing too. I'm blown away with, especially seeing them start so young and how strong they've developed over the years and the weight they're putting up with such good form too.
Yeah, form's big.
Yeah, 100%.
That's kind of hard for an older guy, but the form is a work in progress. Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
I'm sure for senior guys too, or veterans, that's form's everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you push really heavy weight.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to get there.
Yeah, 100%. So you kind of mentioned earlier, before we kind of got into the results, you mentioned specifically the intimidation factor, and you're telling people not to be intimidated by the gym or CrossFit or Red Wolf in general. And I know you were intimidated when you first came in. What are some tactical things that people can do to kind of get over that intimidation factor? Because I know that's a big thing that holds people back, not only from CrossFit, from Red Wolf, but for just the gym in general.
For anything in life, I guess. I mean, just you got to kind of listen to the people that have been there. I guess like the coaches and some of the senior guys that have been working out. Like if you told me go to CrossFit, don't be intimidated. Yeah, but I'm looking at this guy with no shirt, man. He's ripped up and he looks good. Mm-hmm. And you do a certain workout, and maybe you do it in like 8 minutes. Some CrossFit workouts are pretty short, and it blows you away. And then you do the same workout, it's 20. You're like, I'm never going to get to that point. But like I said, you got to trust the process and trust the guys that have been there. I was intimidated by just looking at the people. Mm-hmm. I knew I'd get there one day, but I had to stick to it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to see that, you have to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, you're never going to get there. Mm-hmm. But if you don't start and listen to those guys that say, hey, don't worry, you'll get there one day, but you got to start off slow and modify and everything else. There were some workouts where, I thought I could, power clean this much, 4 sets or whatever at, 185 and, there are 5 reps. I'm like, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But mentally I thought I could do it, and I'd do it once or twice. But after 4 sets, no, you probably can't. So listen to your body, listen to the guys that have been there, and your results will come. It's hard to explain, but you just cannot be intimidated. And more than that, you can't quit.
Yeah.
Mentally, you can't quit on yourself. Mm-hmm. And and if you can go in with a partner, that's also a good thing too. I mean, I came in with my wife, so if, I'd look at her like, if she's still going, I'm still going. Yeah. I'm not going to quit.
Yeah.
And that was the last thing I wanted to do, was go run another. After workouts, we'd go run a mile sometimes, and she'd start running. Okay, here we go. Yeah. I never told her I didn't want to run those miles. I just follow behind.
Yeah. But you did.
But you got to do it. Yeah. So if you go in with 2 people, that's even better.
Yeah. No, that's outstanding advice, and I think a lot of people also feel like they need to be in shape before they get started, which doesn't make any sense. That's like saying I need to be clean before I go take a shower.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really like what you said specifically about how you just got to get started, and you just got to take that first step. And you have to be okay with, playing the long game. And I was kind of like that too, because, I was really intimidated by the gym when I first started. And then once you get in there and you realize, no one's judging you, like no one cares. Like if anything, we're like stoked and we're happy that you're there making a change, and we're there to support you. And I think that's kind of why our gym specifically gets the results that we do is because I kind of changed gears, because I used to think that, a gym was all about the programming, the only the coaching, but specifically just like the form coaching and the technique coaching. But really the big thing that I learned over the years was like, I have to be the kind of coach that people look forward to coming and seeing, that is not intimidating, that will welcome you, and that will actually help you get from point A to point B.
And then, the other members are huge. So everybody supports each other here. So that's pretty cool. I like to look at people's scores, when we have certain lifts. And even then, when I'm working out, some days I'll work out at 5 at night, and you'll look, oh, so-and-so's working out, cool. It's going to be a good day because he's working out or she's working out. They're going to get after it. So now you have to get after it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't be intimidated. You're going to battle with that person. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it is fun. And then once you kind of get, it's just like anything though. It's like when you get over that initial hump of like, oh my God, this is scary. Oh my God, I'm starting to figure things out. And now it's just normal. Now it's like, I actually look forward to this. You just got to get over that point. And that's like that with anything though.
Yeah, that's true. But it's just like you said, getting over the initial fear. Once it's like jumping in cold water. Oh man, it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. Well, you're not going to know until you jump in. Once you jump in, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
So you got to jump in and do it.
Yeah. It's never as bad as we make it out in our heads ever. It never really is. Like we always worry more than it really is in reality.
That's true.
All right. Fantastic, Rudy. So any parting thoughts, any words of wisdom from you before we wrap things up?
Well, like we've been talking about initial joining or sticking to it. I've worked out my entire life since I was about 14 years old. And, it was always, your regular bench press. And like I said, you're doing your squats, your bench, in zero form, by the way. You're doing bench press and military, but you're not doing it right. You come to these gyms, especially this gym, with the coaching and with the peers, everybody helps you here. And if you got goals, you're going to reach them. You are going to reach them. You're going to surpass every goal you ever thought. I didn't think it, at my age, I'd start doing some of the things I'm doing, but I'm climbing ropes and doing pull-ups and some other things. I had a guy at work the other day. I mentioned we did pull-ups. He goes, oh, you can't do pull-ups. I said, yeah, I do pull-ups. Oh, you can't do pull-ups. He goes, I can't do one. I said, well, I can do, 15. He goes, you can't do 15. I said, so we made a bet. I stopped at 12. I said, I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm just not going to embarrass you.
That's awesome.
You don't think you can do things, but you can. So this place is amazing, and the results you get are amazing. But like you said, you got to start, and you got to get in and get after it. If you don't jump in it, then you'll miss out on the party.
No, 100%. And I love that. That's really cool that you showed up your friend too.
Oh yeah,
with the 12 pull-ups. That's awesome.
Especially at my weight, but I'll tip or I'll do whatever. But I told you you'll pull up. I didn't tell you how I was.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. The details matter. All right, Rudy. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Long time coming.
Yeah, thank you so much. We've been meaning to get you on here. We'll definitely get you on again and check in on how you're doing. So, it was great sharing your story and all of your advice and your wisdom over the last 11 years of being with us. And I'm really glad you're with us because that was a very traumatic experience that happened.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to be here.
Yes, absolutely. It's really cool to see you stick with it after all these years as well.
You got to stick to it.
Yeah, 100%. Fantastic. And thank you so much for listening. If this was helpful, please leave us a 5-star review so we know to make more content just like this. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Red Wolf CrossFit and DM your content suggestions there. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, good luck, have fun. Nailed it.